Sorry if that was kind of loud, but this is going to be me plastic welding with a torch, a vice grip, a nail, zip ties. So I cut this in order to replace the evaporator core for the AC on my Mustang. And Ford was actually nice enough to leave a slot for you to kind of cut into it, right? And now it's trying to reseal it. Now a lot of guys will actually do, just some super glue or some silicone. I've kind of seen, a few things like that. And I don't know, I'm sure that stuff probably works pretty good, but I kind of want to make sure it's something that's not going to break down or flex or, break a seal because of a couple heat cycles or cold cycles with the AC or the heater going. So I'm actually plastic welding here, and this is the technique that I actually just developed because I don't have an actual plastic welding kit or anything like that. So I managed to do over here, and I'll slide you, or I'll put a picture of how I did over on this main piece over here. But I kind of wanted to show you the technique that I use, maybe on this little piece, just to kind of get an idea of what we're doing. So I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll see what happens. We're just gonna heat the nail, heat the nail on the torch. It's cooled off since I've done this, so I got to make sure it gets nice and hot. So we'll just give it a second there. When you put it in the bright blue, that's normally the hottest part of the flame. So the closer you get to that, theoretically, the quicker it's going to heat up. So it should be pretty good. We'll give that a try. I'm just going to kind of lay this right here on this corner. Hopefully I'm not blocking it too terribly much. Keep that going, and I'm just going to start a piece right here. And you let it sit until it cools off. Okay, not the best. We'll probably have to come back and kind of touch that up a little bit. It may have been a little bit too hot too. Pushed into it a little bit too far, but you can actually kind of see it set up a little bit sometimes. We'll just keep going. If worse comes to worse, we'll add another layer. It's kind of like welding, at least to a certain extent, or metal welding, where you can make a couple passes and hopefully make everything stick a little bit better. So now I will say I'm not a professional metal welder either, but this one's proven a little bit more difficult because I'm on a curve, I think is my problem, and it's not actually staying very well. So I think I'm gonna kind of change my technique a little bit and actually kind of do a little bit of like just spot welding kind of, instead of trying to do longer passes, and actually give it a chance to cool and reharden. You'll have to forgive me, my hands are always incredibly shaky, and I don't quite understand why. But I'll just keep going like this. And what I'm trying to do is melt the channel that Ford created into the zip tie a little bit, just to kind of make sure everything just kind of basically melts together. That's basically all it is melting things together. You can see how shaky I am. I'm sorry about that. Coming back and looking at it, it looks like I will have to make another pass. That's okay. Like I said, I think, see, I did this piece over here really well. It was nice, flat, straight. And then I started thinking, well, maybe this is kind of something that, another shade tree kind of guy like me could potentially use to do this, or really any other plastic welding type stuff, right? They sell kits on Amazon and stuff like that that are kind of official. They look like soldering irons and stuff like that, right? But you know, that's all well and good, but I'm a guy that is probably only going to do this, what, maybe once a year, if that. I mean, this is the first time I've really ever even tried plastic welding. I did it once or twice back in the early 2000s when I was still kind of a mechanic for Ford. And, you know, every once in a while you get like a little trim clip or something that's going to break if you're working on interior panels and stuff like that. You know, so it just came in handy, you know, to kind of learn how to do it. But again, that's the last time I actually did anything like that. And that was, shoot, 20 years ago or something like that. So anyway, I got to the end here, and what I'll do, actually I thought about cutting it, but we're just going to melt it off. Let's see how that works. There. Okay, well, that worked out pretty good, didn't it? Come back, there's a couple pieces over here that I think I can do a little bit better, so let's heat the nail back up a little bit more. I hope you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I'm not a professional video guy either, right? So I kind of improvise. I've got my cell phone sitting on the top of my toolbox, and I'm working on one of my toolbox drawers. Like I said, this is not my forte, and as you probably noticed by some of my other videos, you know, this is something that, you know, I'm not very good at, but I'm hoping to kind of practice a little bit and maybe, you know, improve the content or quality of my stuff. Hopefully that's not blocking. I hope you guys can see that. I'm going to try and get, I'm not going to go all the way down like all of this. I might go here and then down, but over here I probably won't touch. Actually kind of hear it bubbling a little bit. I'm going to scrape it around and see if maybe I'm doing it this way. It's funny how quickly the nail actually cools off sometimes. There we go. See, just like a tiny little spot there that I'm gonna just put a little dab of plastic in. There we go. Well, that looks pretty good. Like I said, it's not, well, it's hard to get over here right now the way the angle is, but you can kind of dork around with this hole over here now. This one almost looks like it may need a double fill, but yeah, that's basically it. I guess I'll just keep on going along with this. I won't drag you guys along for this long, tedious process, but I kind of thought I'd share what this is, or what I ended up teaching myself, I guess, right? Oh, that didn't really bond very well. I'll do this a little bit and then I'll let you guys go on with your day. There we go. That bonded a lot better. It was actually kind of interesting too. You know, you learn or teach yourself, you know, new little things like this that you wonder if you'll ever use again, right? But you know what? I was always a guy. Oh, I basically pulled that weld right out. But that's kind of what life is, I guess, right? You just kind of mosey along. Sometimes you teach yourself things, sometimes other people teach them for you. But life is just one big learning experience, I think. And you know, I've taught myself a lot, and I can't help but wonder if that's why I make some of these videos, is, you know, this isn't something you'll always see, right? So not everybody's going to show you this stuff. You know, some of the big guys actually have, you know, like tons of money and sponsors and all these things to kind of, you know, buy tools, you know, things like that. Well, I'm not that guy, and I don't know that I ever want to be that guy, but at the same time, you know, improvising, there's nothing wrong with that. You gotta do what you gotta do, and I gotta tell you, you know, it's not always worth, you know, buying everything at LMR or CJ, you know, or American Muscle, where, you know, wherever your favorite spot is, but sometimes it's alright to, you know, do things like this. And I always try and do things, you know, as professionally as possible. You know, I like fixing things. I like figuring out what problems are and seeing what I can do to fix it instead of just spending a ton of money everywhere, you know. Sometimes you don't always get that money back in your investments. That one isn't as good as like over here or down here. I'll grab you for that in a second. I kind of started just kind of chatting, I guess, but let me grab the camera. Here's the first weld that I did. You can kind of see, you know, how that one went. I still have to kind of get into the corners a little bit, but it's not really focusing very well. That's okay. Hopefully you can kind of get the gist of kind of what I did, but I mean, the thing's pretty sturdy now, and I haven't even welded over here, you know. I still have to get some of the corners and stuff like that, but I've made these, you know, even with where they were from the factory too. You know, I still got to do that, and actually I wish I would have gotten this on video. I didn't even think about it, but I used some foam window seal tape. I've got some pictures. There's my wife's car, but I just got some of this from Lowe's, and I just went kind of like how on the factory you kind of go around, you know, to kind of seal it to the box a little bit. Well, I did that there too. But again, you know, just kind of finding other things that'll work. Sometimes there's cheaper options, better options. I'm going to use the same stuff along here for the heater core as well. But, oh, here's the tape. Yeah, it's just this, right? It's 1.5 inches by 1/4, and it actually compresses pretty good. Like it's flexible, but it's actually stiff enough to where, you know, when you put it on a sealing surface, you can kind of give it some give, you know, so I can kind of, you know, shift it a little bit. But there's the new one up in there, and let's see. Well, that's pretty much it. You know what? I haven't. This is my first video in a long time. I hope it works for you. Here, I'll take you and show you. I got the dash. Actually, I got a fender off. My intention was to straighten out the door, you know, because it doesn't seal up here. It leaks water when it rains or gets washed and stuff. But yeah, I've got the dash out and everything. I actually cleaned this up. I've got, if you look at my Instagram, I've got some details on, or a couple pictures at least, of what it looked like before and after. But what I ended up doing when I was trying to take one of the hinge bolts out, it actually broke on me. See, it actually busted on me. What I was going to do was take off the fenders, align the door, and then align the front clip with the door. You know, I'm going to come back in here and get some of that rust encapsulator at some point. That might be another video. But yeah, the dang old bolt broke on me. So that kind of initiated the dash tear down, and then I'm like, well, while I got the dash apart, I need to put a heater core and an evaporator core in it anyway. I don't have, let me go grab a light for you real quick. Right here. there it is, right up there. You can kind of see it. Get this out of the way. There's the hinge plate, and it's one of those bolts busted on me. That's okay. That's what you expect from 40-year-old car. You know, I love getting out here and wrenching, you know, and doing stuff. So, but anyway, thanks everybody for following me around, you know, on this one. Like I said, I know it's been a while since I've made a video. I don't know. I think I'm going to try and recommit to it, you know, in 2024. Oh, I need to turn that torch off. Oops. I'm going to recommit to it. I know it's probably been close to a year since I made a video. I'm doing all kinds of stuff, and I end up I don't even think about it. I just get out here and wrench, and then, you know, I start thinking about taking pictures along the way, and, like, pictures aren't good for YouTube. People expect videos, right? But, you know, I take pictures, and I end up posting them on my Instagram, so, you know, I do that quite a bit, is doing the Instagram. So, like, more up-to-date stuff kind of happens there. Plus, breaking out some time to take a video and editing it, which I'm not very good at, you know. Takes up a lot of time. But anyway, thanks again. Long video, 16 minutes. Well, thanks for sticking around if you guys made it this deep into the video. I know it's probably kind of mundane. Like I said, I'm not the best personality on stuff like this, but I appreciate everybody that's, you know, subscribed. There's a bunch of you that I know, and you know, hopefully this does stuff. I'll try and maybe do some more content later in the year, and we'll just kind of see what happens. But anyway, thanks everybody. Hope everybody had a safe and happy new year, and cheers to 2024.